Hello everyone. Hello guys, how are you guys on today? Guess what time it is? It is story time with Miss Doris. I'm so excited. I have an awesome story for us on today. But before we get started, I would like to greet everyone all over the world. I would like to say hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and to some good night. Someone is going to bed somewhere in the world, but guess what? You are just in time for story time with Miss Doris. Today's story we're going to be reading is The Frog and the Ox. Today's story we're reading is The Frog and the Ox is our today story, and the ox is like a lavender color purple. So our color today is going to be the color lavender. You can barely see it. The color lavender is our color for today. You can barely see the color. It's a really light color. But today's color is the color lavender. For today's the color of our ox. Our frog is green, but our ox is the color lavender, the color purple. I'm going to go ahead and shout outs to all of you out there in Storytime land. I hope you guys are having an awesome Friday. Happy birthday to those of you that are celebrating a birthday on today. Well, I'm going to go ahead on and get started with our story. We're not going to do the story time song. You can hear it playing in the background. I do own the copyrights to the song that's playing in the background. The Fox and the Ox. One fine summer's day, a brother frog and a sister frog were happily playing in a pond with their friend, the dragonfly. The frogs were eating, sitting on lovely lily pads close to the edge of the pond, while the dragonfly was energetically flying overhead. The three friends were having terrific time playing with bubbles. As the frogs grew giant bubbles, the dragonfly chased the bubbles through the air and popped them. With such a fine breeze blowing across the pond, it is sure a perfect day for bubbles, said the dragonfly as he zipped about. Let me adjust this. Trying to see if I can get the glare. Let's do it like that. The frogs and the dragonfly were enjoying themselves when they happened to notice a farmer and a big funny-looking creature approaching the pond together. It was a very hot day, so the farmer was taking his ox to the pond for a cool drink of water. The frogs and the butterfly. Hello, Minerva. How are you on today? I hope you're having an awesome day on today. The frogs and the dragonfly continued playing. They didn't realize how close the farmer and his ox had gotten when the big creatures had suddenly came thundering down next to the frogs. The frogs and the dragonfly were startled. Watch out, screamed the brother frog to his sister frog, and they both quickly hopped so safer to ground. That was close, said the dragonfly as he watched his dear frog friends from above, while the thirsty creature had a long drink of water. The little frogs and dragonfly had never seen an ox before and were very taken aback by the sight of one. What is that? Said Sister Frog to her big brother. Brother Frog took a longer look and replied, I don't know, whatever it is. It sure is huge. We must tell Father about this discovery, said Brother Frog to his sister Frog. Maybe I'll know what this enormous creature is called. The two frogs headed home excitedly. They moved across the pond as fast as their little legs could carry them, hopping from one lily pad to another and even over to the other. When they got home, they found their father fast asleep on a hammock, snoring quite loudly. Knowing that their father was a very, very sound sleeper, Brother Frog didn't hesitate in jumping right up onto his belly and loudly croaking, "Wake up, Father, wake up." Waking up with a start, Father Frog fell off his hammock and with a great, great big splash, landed in the pool in a pond of water. "Hey, what's the big idea?" bellowed Father Frog, grumpily making his way out of the water. Talking at the same time as each other, the little frogs enthusiastically described the creature to their father, who tried his best to understand what they were seeing as he dried himself off. Meanwhile, the dragonfly had followed Brother and Sister Frog home and was now buzzing around Father Frog's head. He was also very curious to hear what Father Frog was going to say. "Father, Father," implored the little frogs, trying to get his attention, but Father Frog was now distracted by the dragonfly and was trying to catch him with his tongue. "Father, listen to us," continued the little frogs. "We've seen a monster." Describing the ox, they continued, "It was as big as a mountain, with horns and a tail." Now very, very interested and finally giving up on catching the dragonfly, their father replied, "Why, that was no monster. That was just a farmer's ox." And convinced that he could look just as impressive, he added, "I can easily make myself as big as that ox." So he puffed himself up with air and asked, "Was he as big as this?" "No, father, he was much, much bigger than that. Much, much bigger," answered the little sister frog. So Father Frog tried to make himself even bigger. He took a huge breath and pumped himself up with air until he was enormous, even bigger than the first time. "What about now?" he croaked. "Was he as big as this?" "He was even bigger than that," answered the brother frog. So once again, Father Frog took a very, 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 very deep breath and swelled up even more than the last time. And now he asked, straining as he spoke, "I'm sure he wasn't as big as this." Whoa, there he goes. Oh my goodness. Be careful. "Bigger, bigger, bigger," the little frog shouted in unison, hopping up and down, determined not to be outdone by the fox. Father Frog took the biggest breath any frog had ever taken. He inflated himself with an incredible amount of air, making himself look like a giant frog balloon. And now he managed to eke out in a very, very high-pitched voice. He couldn't possibly have been as big as this. Whoa. Looks like an egg. And just as he uttered those words, he suddenly shot off high into the sky like an overblown balloon releasing its air. He flew in all directions, wildly looping and zipping about. Then, to everyone's relief, and especially his own, when Father Frog finally ran out of air, he landed safely in the water, making a most impressive splash. The little frogs looked at each other in disbelief before erupting in laughter. "I didn't know that Father could fly," squealed Brother Frog to his little sister Frog and the dragonfly. As Father Frog climbed out of the water, dazed and confused, he resolved to never try to do something he wasn't. He realized that he was much better off being true to himself. The end. That was an awesome story you read on today, The Frog and the Ox. Don't forget, our today's color is the color purple, which is a light lavender purple. Well, guys, remember, if you're not feeling well, always let someone know that you're not feeling well. And guess what? They will take really good care of you. And when you're out and about, or playing with your favorite toy, or out on the playground, at school, at recess, make sure you are washing and sanitizing your hands when you go back inside. Make sure you're practicing safety first. And remember, when you are out and about and you approach those establishments that you must wear your mask, make sure you guys are wearing your mask. Don't take your mask off, guys, unless someone tells you to. Remember, we are still practicing safety first. I enjoyed reading you guys a live story on today. Remember, if you're not smiling on today, I hope once you see Miss Doris' smile that you are smiling. Take care. Have an awesome, safe, and blessed weekend. Take care, guys. Don't forget to smile.